Hey there, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of Manifest with Markesha. I'm your girl, Markesha. Thank you so very much for joining me. This is the place where your mindset is going to be challenged, limitations are removed, and more importantly, empowerment is given. It really is my passion and privilege to help you elevate your self concept so that you can step fully into the highest and greatest version of yourself. So, without further ado, today I'm talking about something that will speak to anybody who's ever invested time, energy, and love into something, only to later on realize it actually didn't produce the fruit that they thought it would. I want to call this episode Learning to Let Go to Grow. So, have you or someone you know ever poured their heart into something, whether it be a relationship, a dream, a job, or even a hobby? Just to later on realize that what you needed or really wanted, it didn't serve you. To wake up one day with that gnawing dissatisfaction and being presented with a hard choice, a choice where you have to go into a place of asking yourself, do I stay and keep doing what I'm doing because the time and energy I've invested, or do I release it so that I can make room from what truly aligns with me? It's at this crossroad that keeps people clinging to the familiar rather stepping forward into discomfort that leads to true aligned growth. It's often hard to let go and release because the letting go feels like loss. But what if I told you that letting go is sometimes the most loving, faith-filled thing that you could do for yourself? Let me break it down a little bit. Let me share a story with you about a time that I poured into my garden, specifically when I was trying to grow my cucumbers. See, my children and we did this from the ground up. I'm not gonna lie, I didn't do a whole lot of research. I did a little Googling, but I was jumping in this 10 toes. So we ordered the garden beds, we built them, we laid the soil, we started the seeds on the inside of the house, we transplanted them outside, and this became my baby. Every morning and every evening, I was out there tending to this garden. It was like a full-time job. I was watering, protecting, nurturing. I was even speaking to these plants. Month after month, I was locked in. I was truly, truly invested. And like I said, I'll admit, I didn't do too much research when I started, but I kept at it. And at first, it looked like nothing was happening. Then slowly, the cucumbers started popping up. One, then two, then six, then 10. It kept growing. Oh my gosh, I was thrilled until I started really looking at them and something didn't just seem right. So I thought maybe I was doing something wrong. I was wondering if maybe I needed to water them differently. Maybe I should have used a different fertilizer. I was trying to adjust some things. I kept adjusting because I could not get the results that I had envisioned. So I kept tweaking here and changing there, and I was trying until it hit me. No amount of adjustment was going to make them be what I needed. They were never meant to be what I wanted them to be, because turns out I planted the wrong seed. They were pickling cucumbers. The little short, stubby ones. They weren't long and smooth and green like the slicing ones that I had pictured in my mind. How I messed that up, I don't even know. It was meant to be a lesson. But isn't it like that in life? We pour our hearts into something, and when it doesn't look like what we dreamed, we try to force it to fit. We keep changing ourselves, or we try to change the thing, hoping it will become what we need, when in reality, it was never the right thing to begin with. So now I had a decision. Do I keep pouring time and energy and love into something that isn't producing what I need? Or do I cut it off and make space for the harvest that I actually desire? Well, I cut the vine. Not really because I wanted to, but because those pickling cucumbers were never something that I needed. What they don't tell you about the process is after you let go, even when you know that's not what you needed to begin with, Or even when you know that this thing is not even aligned with you anymore, there's a moment where regret creeps in, a moment where the silence is loud. And for me, that garden looked bare. And you wonder, man, did I make the right choice? It's because that space between cutting off and growing, it don't feel good. It can feel endless. It can feel empty. And if we're being honest with ourselves, maybe that's why we hold on so long, because the in-between feels like loss. But here's the truth. The space really isn't empty. It's a ground now being prepared, because the clearing has to come before you can plant something new. Sometimes the empty has to come before the abundance. And for me, sure enough, before long, I planted new seeds. I mean, right ones. And that life came forward. And to my, not surprise, but to my expectations this time, it was the right thing. I've been realizing this garden has been teaching me far more than how to grow vegetables. Standing there with my gloves on, pulling out the stubborn vines, it hit me. This really wasn't about the cucumbers. I mean, how many times have we truly done this in our life? Hold on to something that no longer serves us, trying to repurpose it, trying to force it to fit, shrinking ourselves, tweaking, adjusting, all because we don't want to admit that the time we've given might not give us back what we hope for. So we cling because we've already poured so much time in. Here's another hard truth. Love and longevity it doesn't guarantee lifelong access. Yes, change is hard, but staying stuck is even harder. We have to realize not every season is meant to last forever. So when something stops producing fruit in your life, or the fruit no longer aligns with who you're becoming, don't see that as a failure. See that as a sign that it's time to clear the soil for something new to grow. Here's what I want you guys to remember. Clearing out what no longer serves you, it isn't lost. It's making room for what's meant for you, because every ending carries a seed of a new beginning. But only and only if you're brave enough, courageous enough to clear the soil first. Let's admit, it's hard to let go of relationships. It's hard to walk away from a job that we've invested so much time in, to readjust our dreams because we thought that was it and that no longer serves us. Those are not easy tasks. But if you can stand in your courage, then the fruit of your decision, when it's time to harvest, will be so plentiful. So here's the challenge I want to leave you guys with this week. Find the vine in your life, the relationship, the habit, the belief, that thing that no longer bears fruit for you. And ask yourself, am I keeping this because it's fruitful, or am I keeping it because it's familiar? And then choose courage over comfort. Release it with love so that you can plant what truly aligns with your life. That's all I have for you today. If this episode spoke to you, share it with someone who might be wrestling with their own vine right now. And remember, when you empower your mind and release what no longer serves you, you create the space for a life of abundance. Until next time, keep believing, keep growing, and keep manifesting.